the same way.
That is bizarre.
It does seem a bit unfair, doesn't it?
How can you have that difference in the rule? It just doesn't make sense, does it?
You remember, scored the winner, having been booked, and then
took his shirt off. What a game that was.
It certainly was. In this grand competition, some fundamental changes announced, which have caused some debate in this country over the last couple of days, but it still fully deserves its place in the prominence of English football, and particularly around the world. It's much loved. So, Ireland, a bit of pressure on him from Binks. Tavares. Here's O'Hare, still trying to impose his perky style of football on the match. Torp. United have a bit of defending to do. Tavares. And Evike. Oh, that's a good effort. That was keep action. It was a 2024 version, but not quite as successful from Callum O'Hare.
No, but good work on that right-hand side. He's been quite good. Tavares is coming on. Overlap full-back with the right-footed cross. Very hard to keep it down in terms of you're so far in advance of the near post. Hitting the target is tricky. Just not enough from Coventry in that sense in this game. Haven't really tested Manchester United as I thought they would. You're always going to have those vulnerabilities at the back against the United attacking front line, but not really asked the big question of Maguire and Casemiro enough.
Sir Trevor Brooking, scorer of the winning goal in an FA Cup final with a diving header.
Yeah.
West Ham were the last side from outside the top division to win the FA Cup 1980 against Arsenal. Before Matt Upson joined Arsenal, I have to say.
Just a bit, Martin. Not even close, was it?
No, not even close. But it is accurate. They beat Arsenal and you played for Arsenal, so forgive me for that.
Would have been Arsenal's youngest ever signing at 1.
Maybe these days, not so sure.
Sign them up early, don't they?
They do. Harris has got into the game, you quite rightly spotted that. Pointing is for a goal kick. Some of the Coventry fans think it's for a penalty. O'Hare again, dangerous in the box.
Well, Maguire does what he does in these situations. He doesn't get there with his footwork, but he leans that big upper body straight in, and it's very hard to stay on your feet for O'Hare. Not quite got the body strength with the weight of Harry Maguire's frame against him, and just eases him out of that situation.
Yeah, you would stick up for defenders in those situations because you did it a million times, but I mean that's a shove without playing the ball, isn't it?
Well, he's holding his ground though, Martin. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think if he gets enough of his upper body, if he's just using the arm and the arm's outstretched, I think it does look and feel different, but it was his whole upper body.
More defending to be done here, and it's swept in by Sims. Well, Coventry do get a goal, and Ellis Sims, with 20 minutes left, Mark Robbins, a great goal scorer himself as a player, has brought one here to the Sky Blues. The former Everton man has a good finish.
Great finish, and it's that right-hand side again for Coventry. It's been a problem for Manchester United since Tavares has come on. He's really featured his delivery into the box. It bounces. I mean, it's really poor defending. Casemiro hasn't got across at all. Harry Maguire is out of position. Look at the space he has there to tricky finish. He's off the shin, actually, because the ball's really spun up. Look at that, where it hits him, right on the shin pad. He's not complaining, and that still, for me, is a really good improvisation of the finish, but far too much space in the Manchester United box.
Well, their top scorer in the competition has brought a little bit of hope. Atl.San has come on for Manchester United. Robin's change of formation to start with, and then the substitutions.
It's miles better for me. It's just a shame he didn't start the game with that. But, you know, they needed that goal before the third of United's went in at 2-1. Then you've got a nice, interesting game on your hands, but there's still enough of a buffer for Manchester United to feel comfortable.
Atl.San hasn't played much. Maguire hasn't played much recently. McTominay's only just back from injury. And they are attacking the end. It's all sky blue, but it'll be Bradley Collins to sweep that up. Now's the time. Dust yourself down.
Yeah.
Go for it. Don't die wondering.
No.
Yeah, you might get beat 5-1.
Yeah, they've got a set about them in terms of physically.
They've raised the ante, haven't they, with their shots? Coventry. And he's a handful. Deemed, I think probably Everton had to sell him because of the problems they've had with the financial regulations, with profit and sustainability. But he's come through the ranks, so it's all profit. And a good spell on loan at Sunderland. And two of the Manchester United backroom staff were saying, well, Amad Diallo was there at Sunderland with him last season, and he's been briefing Manchester United on those things his strength. There's an example of what he can do. Yes, it was a shinner, but to control it into that bottom area takes a lot of skill.
It doesn't matter to me where it comes, what body part it comes off of. The fact is the technique and the timing was all there.
It went where he wanted it to go.
Absolutely. Whether it comes off the shin pad or sweet off the laces.
But here's Anthony. Manchester United trying to restore a bit of order here. Rashford can't get around the outside. Be careful they don't foul him here. He gets his cross in, well held by Collins. Wants to get it out quickly. Yeah. Maguire. It's a difficult pass actually from Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Ball was off the ground.
It's a bouncer, wouldn't it? He's a good technician though, isn't he? There's elements about his game that are really exceptional, and usually his ball striking is right up there.
Yes, and Portugal have had a say in those semi-finals, haven't they? Bernardo Silva and Bruno Fernandes. They look as though they will meet again here towards the end of May. Here is Anthony. Atl.San, whom to see him on the football field still makes one wide-eyed with astonishment after what he went through in the European Championship.
It takes a lot of courage, doesn't it?
Love of the game.
Absolutely. I mean, and the whole story of, you know, going to Brentford and performing the way he performed to then get himself in a situation where he gets signed by a club like Manchester United is pretty incredible, isn't it?
I was talking to Jan Molby, one of Denmark's greatest players, before the game. He was hoping to see Christian play. So he's had Højlund and Torp now on as well.
Yeah.
So there's the journey from his home in England. Great company. He was an exceptional player. Here's McTominay.
Coventry is just raising that level again. Manchester United trying to kill the game, knocking the ball around, not really having much purpose, but just trying to slow it down. Can Coventry raise that level? Balls like this into the channel and forcing Manchester United's hand a little bit.
Sims has now done the 3-2-1. 3 in the 5th round, 2 in the quarter-final and 1 in the semi. It might not be finished yet. Rashford possibly offside, yeah. Definitely offside.
Yeah. So we've got to play quickly, Coventry.
Well, there's still time, because this is the FA Cup, which almost has the monopoly on shocks, because it pits teams from different divisions together in the most intriguing way. Here's Spinks. From Kent is
great ball.
Gillingham, his first club, and we'll be pleased with that from him. His mum used to work, may still work in the ticket office at the Priestfield Stadium.
It's a super left-footed pass cross-field. Shame Tavares couldn't bring it under control.
Here's Anthony. Coventry on the back foot again. He loves to do that. From inside, he's not the only player in the world who passes himself coming from the right onto the left foot. Here goes Atl.San, and here go Coventry. In pursuit of a moment that would give us a rattling good climax. O'Hare deflected. Oh! It is 3-2, and we have got that climax. He's the cheerleader and the goal scorer. This is the FA Cup, in case you hadn't realised.
Now, can it happen?
Yes, the answer it can.
Can it happen? Can Coventry get back level in this game? You need a little bit of luck. Manchester United had it with the Bruno Fernandes goal. Fortunate deflection. This one, obviously, a huge deflection. But the point is, they got into a situation where they had the opportunity to get that shot off. Sims, really good hold-up play, plays it into O'Hare, and all of a sudden, the ball spins up off Wan-Bissaka's back. Onana, absolutely no chance. No chance whatsoever. O'Hare with the strike, and that's in the back of the net. What a final 10 minutes we're set up for.
Another change. Jada Silva's come on. Coventry, diminutive figure. Another one through the Chelsea ranks. There's Casey Palmer and Collins, the goalkeeper. Sky high, sky blues at the moment, but they need more.
It's got a few off their seat, isn't it?
Including you and me.
Hey, what?
Haji right. 8 numbers in the box. Tavares was trying to get there. Wan-Bissaka stabs it away.
Just needed a little bit more angle on the cutback. It was a little bit too flat from right. Needed to go towards the penalty spot a little bit more.
Well, shoot on sight, and why not? 10 minutes plus stoppage time.
Plenty of time, isn't there?
Football myth, because they said Alex Ferguson wouldn't have lost his job. Mark Robbins stopped them having a harrowing defeat. Well, he won the game, the 3rd round tie at Nottingham Forest. Fergie had been there a while, no trophies, but that started a run that led to Mark Robbins winning the FA Cup, Manchester United winning the FA Cup, Alex Ferguson winning his first trophy. More to come. So he has history. And his team are trying to make something very special happen in this semi-final. That's the difference between Premier
Atl.San at Twickenham. That challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Arms around the waist. Good rugby tackle that from behind. No, you're not going to get past him. And he is a dynamic runner, though, Hoyland. He's got plenty of power.
And Thomas gets booked. For your thoughts.
Body language has changed a little bit, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's not a comfortable chat anymore, is it?
Manchester United that probably felt he'd inherited.
Yeah.
They're still in the lead. They've got Bruno Fernandes on a free kick and a little nudge from a player on either side. Might find the ball on the back of the net, but it's not a nudge, it's a solid defensive header from Haji Wright.
Manchester United try and push forwards and score again, or play, or are they just thinking here defensively? Do we just want to be safe and not concede?
No, they've got pretty much everybody forward. There's a ring fence of the penalty area and a few in and around Bradley Collins.
It's more outside the box.
Ericsson takes by Haji Wright. Tavares is actually ahead of the play, I think. Switch the ball to him. Is Da Silva, fresh legs, here's Tavares, and here's Da Silva, Sims and Wright are in the middle, squirts behind of Harry Maguire. It's rocking at that end. Are Manchester United rocking defensively?
Crikey, this is nervy stuff going on here. They do not look comfortable when the ball's wide, Manchester United.
Pushing and shoving in there, and Rob Jones, the referee, take a couple of players from both sides to task.
This will be a retake, will it? Wasn't the best of deliveries, was it? It was too long and too near the back post and too high. Got another opportunity to put one in.
Well, it's Victor Torp to take it. It's a real challenge for Onana and Manchester United at the back. I think they thought they'd escaped. Fellows had a going off a Coventry player, but it's Robins' side that have the throw.
And they're going for the back post there, Coventry. That ball's got to go right in the mixer for me. Just plenty of whip and dip and make it awkward to get a clearing header.
And Reich throws it long. Twice. Oh! Stunning shot from Torp. And a marvellous save from Onana. Well, apart from the goals, that's the moment of the match.
Wow. What a hit from Torp. I mean, this is absolutely sensational. Technique, power, straight at Onana. But look at the hit. I mean, that is as sweet as it gets. What a strike.
Torpedo.
Your yellow card for time wasted, Martin.
Some would say about time.
Yeah. I mean, it's blatant, isn't it?
Well, had that gone in for 3-3, we'd be scanning our own personal memories of it than anything to match this. I mean,
I've written it off, Martin. 3-0. It was over, wasn't it?
It was.
I mean, it was a strike worthy of an equaliser. That's for sure.
Of course, it was 3-3 when Mark Robins came on as sub in the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace here in 1990. It went to a replay in which he didn't feature. It was a substitute, not used. They won 1-0. That's 3-3. And Mark Robins' life might have happened when he was not on Manchester United's side as today.
2 goals after 90 minutes in the previous round.
Yeah.
They've got
four Coventry have awoken, and maybe in time. First half, which culminated really the sense of disappointment with Maguire making it 2-0, a sense of underachievement from what they've done to get to the semi-final. They rolled up their sleeves and really shown up for the second half.
They've shown their personality and character. The formation has been, for me, miles better. They've had much more freedom to play, and here they are again.
Right. Tavares coming in at the back post. Tony had height advantage on O'Hare by a fair bit. O'Hare again. Sheaf. Scraped away rather by Manchester United. They're suddenly looking somewhat weary and somewhat perplexed. How's it gone wrong? But they still lead.
De Silva's looking bright on this left-hand side as well. Looking comfortable going forward with the ball.
O'Hare. Pop it in. What have they got on the counter-attack? Hoyland hasn't seen so much of the ball. Fernandes going on. Rashford can take over. Fernandes again. It's an overload at the back post. Hoyland. They wanted far too long.
Has he not hit it?
Imagine how he'll feel if this leads to something here. Onana decides to just give it back. Now his opposing number to Coventry. A full pirouette wasn't required.
Didn't need it. Just hit it. You're that close. Middle of the goal. Just hit it. You wouldn't want that moment to haunt you, would you?
Right, I think.
They are carving Manchester United up on the flanks at the moment. Ball into the box. It hits his own player on the floor there. Spins up in the air, but
could it have been going in?
Possibly, yeah. But again, they're getting down the side so comfortably, and the weaknesses that we've spoken about at Manchester United in terms of the defensive partnership and not being that solid as a back four unit is now starting to really get exposed. It's been a poor finish to the game for them, hasn't it?
Well, it's emphasised their, believe it or not, the lack of numbers. Because they've got 5 or 6 on the bench who they don't want to use. Well, 4 or 5 now. Here's Maguire. Wan-Bissaka. Back to Onana. Just feel there's still time for Coventry. Sims in particular. Trying to find his great partner this season, Haji Wright. 6 minutes for a 6th goal in the game. But it could come at the other end.
Tackle, really well-timed tackle, had to get that right, Chief.
Here's Tavares. Still going. Sims was right, and he probably would have been offside, but Wright was in a better position.
Yeah, just didn't make his run quick enough.
Wasn't sharp enough.
Wasn't bright enough to get across the face of Darlow. He's got to really gamble, not be hesitant. You know, you've not got time for that. Just get across the face of the defender. If the ball comes in, you're there. Rashford maybe just making the most of this. It's a really well-timed tackle, and then Sheaf gets up and plays a brilliant forward pass, but I think Rashford knows that breaking the game up a little bit here might be the sensible thing to do. There's that opportunity again on the flanks, in behind Wan-Bissaka. This is the movement. It's too slow for Wright to get across. He's in that danger area is where he needs to be.
Yeah, he was thinking of the space. He needed to be in front of the defender.
Exactly. Don't pull out in that space.
Yeah.
Get across the front of it. As defenders, that is your hardest thing to deal with at that moment.
Suddenly there's hope. Suddenly visiting Wembley, even in defeat, will be very memorable, but it's not defeat yet. In by O'Hare. It's Ericsson who has to steer it away. Talk gets it back. Crossed by Wright, they're lining up at the far post. There's a shout for handball. It's a penalty. In the 93rd minute. Handball given. Against Aaron Wan-Bissaka. The arm is out. Atl.San, penalty.
It's not going to be overruled, Martin. The arm is far enough out for the referee to make that call. It is not a clear and obvious error. It can be debated all day long, and there'll be different views. But that is not a decision that VAR, I believe, will overturn, because the arm is there. It's in that position. Is it by his side? Relatively, but it's outstretched a little bit, and he's making himself bigger to stop that ball coming back across the goal. I think that's the key point. The silhouette is bigger and not allowing that ball in a really dangerous area to get back across the goal. I mean, can you believe it? It's incredible stuff here.
That's still being reviewed. Manchester United having their say.
It's a big call for VAR to get involved.
It's an on-field penalty.
Absolutely, an on-field penalty, which for me isn't a clear and obvious error.
And it's a penalty. Well, I saw Haji Wright take one of the worst penalties of the season at Southampton 10 days or so ago. He kicked with his right foot onto his left foot.
Really?
And of course that was a free kick and the ball didn't go in the net.
So he's full of confidence from the spot.
It's amazing. He's going to take it. And one of the features of it, Matt, was he waited forever to take it. As if he was Mr. Cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's had a fair wait for this, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's had a fair wait in front of the...
When the ball was on the spot, he still waited a long time. The referee almost had to hurry him up.
Oh, what a moment.
For Haji Wright at Wembley. They were 3-0 down, Coventry City. He waits again, Haji Wright. That's his style. Here he goes. And scores! 3-3. One of the great semi-final recoveries. The spirit, if you like, of 1987. But this is Mark Robins' team now. And they are heroes to those fans. And rightly so. What a contrast in emotions. Doug King, the owner, is on his feet.
Well, I just cannot believe we're in this situation. Cool as you like. From Haji Wright. Sees Onana going one way, strokes it in the other side. And that is the way to celebrate in front of a full half end of sky blue Wembley. What a moment for Coventry.
36,000 of them. Prayers are answered at that end of the ground. There is another point of view, of course.
I think that is the Keith Hatchin header end as well, actually, isn't it?
Yes,
If I remember right.
of the other stadium.
Of the other stadium, yeah, sure, but...
Well, leaving it late. When it's late, Coventry are great.
I just cannot believe that Manchester United have thrown away a 3-goal lead. It's incredible, and it just shows you when Coventry turn up and have that freedom and confidence and don't care what's going to happen, you get a performance out of them. I mean, they've been brilliant in the last half an hour. Since the substitutions have come on, they've been superb.
Here's Van Eyck. And Rashford is pulled up. Tavares. Sims. Oh, there's the supporting cast, not quite there in time, and it's a free kick. Fernandes is trying to buy a bit of time here.
Wow. I mean, I haven't seen Man United this vulnerable when the ball's wide from cross crosses.
They look out on their feet.
They just look gone. It is the ball's in that wide area. It's get your head up and pick out who you want in the box. I mean, we spoke about the 2 goals in injury time.
He's done. Looked like a hamstring when he pulled up. Maybe a calf. It's gone from bad to worse, isn't it? The hero of a game that was 3-3 when he influenced it at Old Trafford the last time Manchester United won a game. Here's Sims. And had to get there and did. Anyway, added time before extra time at Wembley. McTominay. Suddenly, the odds seem stacked in Coventry's favour.
Yeah. Well, they look the team that's going to go on to win it, don't they? At the moment, it's a complete shift.
In the second half, they've put in a shift, that's for sure. Outfield subs have got about 3 appearances between them. And here is Diallo. Is he going to do it again? Bruno Fernandes. And it's carried out. And they certainly recognise the opportunity, Manchester United, with the numbers they got in the box.
I mean, Collins does well, actually, because Bruno Fernandes just wants to fire that ball as hard as he can. Pace on it was really immense, and he just gets a solid foot on it, spins the ball away.
Here's Maguire. Wan-Bissaka has given away a penalty and deflected him the goal before that. And then surely that will be that before the final whistle goes for regulation time. He steered it far enough away.
Well, there's the hit. And to fire that across the box, Hoyland in perfect position just to tap that in if Collins doesn't get the touch on it.
Well, he's done so much to help the club rise from the ashes. Only yes, but fan first.
Yeah, he's buzzing, and rightly so.
Still not the final whistle. Or the whistle to end the regulation period. Fisher. And Evike. Now Diallo. And we do go to extra time. One of the most extraordinary second halves in FA Cup semi-final we've seen here in the new Wembley. And Haji Wright with the penalty. Parity after goals from Atl.San and a defected effort from Callum O'Hare. Manchester United look home and hosed, but Mark Robin's side are built of sterner stuff than they showed in the first half. What a second half for them. We'll be back for the extra time at the moment. 3-3 after 90 minutes. It has just been the most staggering FA Cup semi-final you could imagine. And it was all so routine for Manchester United. McTominay, nice and easy, 1-0. This feels a long time ago. And then Maguire just before half-time, seemingly putting it to defeat, but then, this happened. Still can't quite believe what we've seen. The ball in for Sims, great finish that. Might have shinned it, but who cares? And then O'Hare, massive deflection to beat Onana. Still his goal, I think, for 3-2, but they couldn't, could they? They had a chance, they missed that, and then this, Wan-Bissaka blocking the cross with his hand. Penalty kick, super cool, Haji Wright, 3-3. Welcome back to an enthralled Wembley Stadium. The half-time, a game of two halves, I think it's fair to say, Matthew.
You could say that.
And Coventry have the momentum, which is a popular word in football these days. Eddie Vivash talking to Milan and Evike, who's been outstanding on that right-hand side. Let's go down some names here. Omari Forson, who's played a few first-team games. Harry John Amas, Habib Ogunai, Lewis Jackson and Ethan Wheatley. They are the available subs for Manchester United. Not exactly household names.
No, not names that would roll off a lot of people's tongues. Good, young, promising talent, but this is a game of know-how at the moment, isn't it? This extra time. Handling the game and handling the occasion is massive, and it's difficult for young players, for that man there, for him to select those players and bring them on in such a key moment. It's not ideal, is it?
Substitutions have sparked the regulars, haven't they?
They have.
That's basically one way of looking at it.
They've been fantastic. Tavares, Da Silva, they've all been brilliant.
So the extra time will start with a Manchester United kickoff. Chance to perhaps show his paces again, strut his stuff on a big FA Cup stage. Surely Mark Robbins has said something along the lines that keep going as you've been doing.
Yeah. I mean, they're the side that, in terms of body language and swagger, they've got the confidence, haven't they? Manchester United are feeling they've just been ran over. It is hard to come back from. momentum. I mean, the body language and facial expression is everything. You just cast your mind back to that pirouette, that swivel that Højlund had just before he could attack that away. And you kind of think, well, I hope that doesn't come back to haunt you. Well, it certainly has.
Here is Jadon Silva. And Victor Torp, two of the substitutes that Jens has mentioned. Torp again. Out. And Diallo stabbed forward accurately by Casemiro to Højlund. They lean on Bruno again, aren't they? Big occasion. He doesn't look 100% in full working order. Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United got through, as we mentioned earlier, the semi-final last year in a penalty shootout. 7 players all scored, and then Sonny March was the only miss for Brighton. Victor Lindelof, one of the absentees, got the winning penalty. Unique competition creating an awesome occasion at Wembley. Eriksen the mark with the pass. Maguire comes across. Only joined in training with the first team on the grass, as the coaches say, on Friday. He's got to pace himself through this. Chief. Good tackling by but he wasn't fouled. Eriksen, done by his fellow countryman Højlund. Give it away, and Bobby Thomas steps in. Tavares wasn't trying to play it, so he couldn't be offside. Højlund. Ahmad to set it up. Oh, Bruno Fernandes rocks the crossbar. Has been a good hit from outside the penalty area from both teams, really. Torp's effort, and now Bruno Fernandes a whisker away from giving Manchester United the lead, but on the counter-attack they might go behind for the first time in this semi-final. But Haji Wright runs and runs and runs out of room. No for Bruno in the end.
Well, he nearly gets this spot on, doesn't he? I mean, what a technician. He knows exactly what he wants. He's trying to guide that into that top corner. And it's just a fraction too high. It rattles off the crossbar and back down, but not over the line. And then Casemiro, I mean, it looks like his legs are a little bit cooked at the moment. Struggling to get back, and the pace of Darlow just helps him out. Right, overrunning the ball. But this is going to be an exciting extra time. It really is. Both teams are a little bit out on their feet, aren't they? Which leads for lots of interesting situations.
That three Mark Robbins, when he played for Manchester United in the Cup final in 1990, did have a replay.
Right, okay.
And of course that's been the topic. Hasn't been final replays for a long time. Hasn't been a semi-final replay since the last century, that famous game involving Manchester United and Arsenal. Ryan Giggs' winner at Villa Park, that was a replay. That's the final one. And now of course the discussion is, are replays for the competition proper not going to count anymore? That nearly counted to put them back into the lead, but it goes to penalties. If we haven't said that too often, I apologise, but stay with us, because whichever way it goes, it's going to be dramatic.
They used to replay a final, didn't they?
They did.
Which is incredible when you think about it, isn't it?
There weren't many of them, in truth, but there were.
Andy Linnigan, I remember, scoring
Sheffield Wednesday.
That was a replay.
1993.
watching a FA Cup final on a midweek. I think it was a midweek.
Ricky Villa, the greatest cup final goal, they say, was a replay. Yeah, Spurs against Man City. But there isn't room now, and I think everybody understands that. It's how you allocate the space.
Yeah, it's only right the final for me is decided on that day. Certainly the final, but
Casemiro at walking pace. He's not going to be the only one when we get to the 15-minute mark. It's over the top, and I think Thomas thought he was offside, Bruno Fernandes.
Bobby Thomas just lost his bearing a little bit there. I think he was surprised by the type of ball. It was like kind of just chipped over the top.
The flag didn't go up.
No. The interesting thing about when you get fatigued, everyone associates it with physical fatigue and feeling tired in the legs, but the first thing that goes is your decision making. You get a little bit tired, a little bit lazy with your thought process and making those decisions, and awareness and checking your shoulder, and all these things just start to drop off. That's when the mistakes set in.
Well, let's hope it doesn't apply to the commentators. They're full on at the moment.
Razor sharp.
3-3. Who would have thought it? Maybe he would have done deep down. I don't think so. We saw him bang the dugout in frustration when Bruno Fernandes' goal was deflected in. Manchester United, that 3-goal cushion. It turned out to be a very soft cushion, though. Here is Casemiro. Atl.San. Binks. Here's Tavares, who's recovered from that knock. Thomas, got to be careful. He's left out. Here's Atl.San, 3 against 3, and Manchester United pushing other players forward as well. Held up the substitute. Here's another sub. Atl.San has a lash at it. It breaks Coventry's way.
Great defending from Binks there, really good body shape, good position, not allowing Diallo to get the wrong side of him and just ushering him out into that space.
It has been a complete rebuild for Coventry this season on the back of selling a couple of players. Gustavo Ramos in the Premier League with Sheffield United, but maybe not for that much longer. Victor Gyökeres is a much admired striker, cashed in on fees for them, and spent their money wisely. A rarity for Coventry to have money to spend.
I mean, fees like 7 million for Sims. I mean, you just don't see Coventry spending that kind of money for a long, long time.
3.5 million for.
Just pulling up there, Tavares. He doesn't look too happy. I know he's just had some treatment on the pitch. I don't know if he damaged his ankle in that challenge with Wan-Bissaka.
Please stop me from mentioning the Tavares hit. It only takes a minute. It only takes a second to score a goal. You didn't stop me.
Yeah.
There was a Nuno Tavares, who is still about, isn't he? He's on loan at Nottingham Forest from Arsenal. Right. It's been mentioned around his name. It's a good tune, though. That's what my kids tell me, to call it a tune. It was a hit in my day. We're out of tune in the first half, Coventry City. They've got the harmony now.
They've been a hit in the second half.
Yeah, they have.
really good second half of the game, Sheaf. I mean, the two midfield players that started the game, Eccles and Sheaf, it was an incredibly difficult first half. They were all out of sync, not able to really get a hold of the ball or have much impact. But since they've gone to that back four, you're starting to see how well they can play in the middle of the park, and not only just with the ball, but certainly out of possession, be difficult to play against.
And Sheaf got on the pitch once for Arsenal in a Europa League game against Red Star Belgrade.
McTominay down on the floor, just sat on the floor there. He's not too comfortable at the moment. Already lost Marcus Rashford.
It is time to call up the kids.
They may have to.
They're going to. Taste of the first team. Mari Forson, 19, he's a second, wide. He's the most experienced of the young lads. There's a 16-year-old amongst them.
He's drifted over to this right-hand side in front of Darlow. And Anthony now
reasonably comfortable in that position, I think.
Yeah, Anthony on the left-hand side.
Sheaf. You never thought you'd even think about it, but could Manchester United be playing for penalties?
Well, may well be in there thinking. I think at the moment, the way they're set up,
too much game time. There's
plenty of time, but the first half of this extra time has been quite calm, actually. There's not really been too much incident. We're nearly there, aren't we, to half-time?
Here's Sheaf. Taut. Silva. Not been in front, Coventry. White trying to change that. By Nevite, put to Manchester United's advantage. Hoyland. United's try. Eric cheers about the challenge.
Oh, great tackle from Thomas. Wins the ball. Wipes out the player. Wiped out himself a little bit there. It was just a touch of cramp.
Understandable. Came through the ranks at Burnley. For many of his Coventry squad, it's the biggest game of their careers. And if Manchester United thought, well, it'll just be another semi-final, they forgot which competition it was in. But here's Bruno Fernandes, who's rattled the bar. Forson. Corner.
Yeah. He's forced to save at Collins. He wasn't too sure whether or not he was going to sneak inside that near post, and you're better off being safe than sorry. It's an awkward-looking shot, isn't it? A real bit of a dip on it.
It probably was going wide.
It was, but I just don't think he wanted to take the chance.
Maguire, of course, seeming a long time ago, put it in a corner to make it 2-0. That's a real connect from Anthony. Forson. High. Well, they are on the verge of greatness, Coventry City here.
It's good defending from Taut. He knew he was going to get kicked somewhere in his body, but willing to put his head in there for his team at the moment.
Well, it's all the elements of football, this, isn't it? Now, fatigue, concentration, obvious ability, tactics, everything you want. A situation that could not be better poised in a better palace of stadiums of football history. Wembley, comes alive again in the FA Cup. We are at half-time, as we were at the end of 90 minutes plus. Matt Upson.
Well, I mean, the first half of that extra time was pretty much two teams that I think are a little bit shell-shocked in the fact they're still here playing extra time. Manchester United for the fact they had a 3-0 lead, and Coventry that they've got back in the game. And that's how that felt, whether or not we see a little change in the second half. But at the moment, for me, it's looking a little bit penalties all the way, Martin.
Because of their injuries, there aren't too many. I'm just thinking who took penalties here last year in the semi-final. Casemiro,
yeah,
Dallo,
Fernandes.
Yeah, no, he was off.
Was he off by then?
Yeah.
No, he was off the pitch.
Garnacho, off. Rashford, off. Sabitzer,
did Maguire take one?
He was suspended.
He was suspended.
Yeah.
I was at that game as well.
Weghorst, not here, not United anymore. Lindelof, not fit. So there's Casemiro and Dallo, still with us.
Yeah. Well, you fancy Mainu, don't you? That's a tough one for Ten Hag, isn't it? And at this moment, you will be kind of planning that, won't you? You'll be thinking about it, and it'll be right in the back of your mind, and your coach will be there on the side, picking the players that you feel that are going to take one. And as you mentioned, there's not that many that have a big history of these kind of situations and what it takes. Anthony, you'd say, is pretty calm in front of goal in terms of the finisher. Eriksen.
Tavares has to go off.
That's a shame. Big shame.
32-year-old Matt Godden. Several years with Scunthorpe United, various loans, bought from Peterborough. And here's a striker. He scored 2 goals in the third round win over Oxford United. That was a big hit as well, 6-2.
Yeah. They've had some high-scoring games, haven't they?
And we said 19.
Yeah.
22 now.
Yeah.
That was the stat of hope for Coventry.
Yeah.
Still 15 minutes away from really coming down to the wire, but we're ever edging closer to it. Memorable at Wembley. Quite happy that sailed through to the goalkeeper.
There was a little bit of a nervous look, wasn't there, on his face, that I'm not going to get the flight of that, but it was far too deep and flat.
Godden's going to play through the middle, Sims on the right.
Yeah.
And Edgy Wright on the left. O'Hare in that off the front position. Eriksen. Here's Forson. For Manchester United in the first half, one relatively early in the second half, built a rock of a platform, and that rock was then chipped away at and then disintegrated. The flight back started by Atl.San, who's having to do a bit of chasing back here as Maguire ploughs on. And he's still going, Harry Maguire. The ball hasn't gone out. Maguire can do something here. What he was trying to do, I think the angle was pretty much against him.
Yeah, it was tight, wasn't it? Just muscles his way through here. And then that angle there is a touch from the keeper, isn't there? It's a decent save, actually, from Collins. Whether or not that would have drifted into the far post, but he got a significant swipe of a glove on the ball that just tipped it wide.
Well, they look for Harry Maguire again, surely at this corner. It's taken by Eriksen. Comes back to Anthony. Allard. Eriksen plays it in with pace. And it sneaks behind for a corner. situations. Ready to try and find some elevation. O'Hare. He just booted one forward earlier in the game. This time he had the confidence to run with it.
Yeah, skipped between two Manchester United players. Does well actually, because he then gets the tackle and goes out of play and just relieves the pressure a little bit. And Coventry now looking at it thinking, if we can see this to penalties, what a win that is for them to have that opportunity to take on the Manchester United team in a penalty shootout. Just the review there, isn't there? An arm in the box. Comes up there. I mean, there's nothing from that from Thomas for me. Just trying to head the ball and it glances off the shoulder. It doesn't frustrate me when things like that are looked at.
Peter Banks mentioned it actually. VAR having a decent time with it.
Yeah.
He is the VAR man. Premier League referee, of course. And they're like... so absorbing for everyone watching it. It's so tiring for everyone playing. The emotion of it all. William's been there from the start. Trying to win it himself. He's onside, he's in his own half. It's Gordon. Sims is coming up with him, but Gordon's a goal scorer. And he was looking to score a goal.
For me, he's got to try and face up Casemiro there. He takes the shot so early. God, I know he's just come on. Really good run, bending it in. From that half, he's in his half when the ball is played, you're right. But then here, for me, Casemiro, you've got to face him up and take him on, come inside. Tries to kind of clip the ball through, but Casemiro is always blocking that with his body.
Get in front for the very first time. It's a very deep one towards Thomas. A bit too deep. Adl.San. Eriksen, surely, as you suggested, one of the penalty takers. If it gets that far, of course, is Chiefs. Since he's onside, played onside by Adl.San. Still Ellis Sims. Oh, there was no one there. There were others to cut it back to. A bit late. Jada Silva is going to get booked for that.
Could have maybe gone on his own there as well, Sims. To come inside and onto the left foot, either fire something across the goal or have an effort on goal yourself. Just a bit late there from Sims on Anthony. Jada Silva, shall I say, with the yellow card.
Eriksen. Manchester United's turn to get players forward from Dalot's pass. Dalot again. Fernandez, it's a clever ball for Dalot. And back by Anthony, kept by Anthony. Bruno Fernandez, haymaker of a challenge. And the ball was got. And play on, says referee Rob Jones. And Coventry only too willing to do that. O'Hare, Haji Wright's in here for Coventry. Because of what happened on the edge of the other penalty area.
Oh my goodness. I mean, talk me through Van Eyck in that move. What a tackle there. Crunching challenge from Bings. Superbly timed, and they set it up really well. This first touch, the ball's a tiny fraction behind right there. The weight of the pass isn't quite enough, and he has to slow down. So he gets it onto his left foot, and I never really fancied him, Martin. From that point, he just drags it across that far post, but lovely sweeping attack. The energy that Coventry shown there.
They call you a weaker foot the swinger.
Yeah,
that was a swing, wasn't it?
It was a swinger. but the pass through to him just needed to be a couple of yards in front of him with a bit more pace on it. I think he could have maybe took it inside the pitch, and then you really do open up either corner of the goal. Lovely sweeping attack.
Casemiro. Anthony. Maguire. He wanted somebody to move in midfield, but moving is a bit of a problem for pretty much everybody out there, except those who've only just come on. So nicely done by Maguire. Hoyland's come alive. Godden. Done brilliantly. Sims. And they keep it going, Coventry. Might be gaps to exploit here. Sims. Oh, Hare couldn't get it back. Anthony. The players forward for United this time. Diallo. Forson. Young boys. Typical Manchester United way to get youth when they need it. Anthony. Diallo. Too wide.
And what more are we going to say about this game? It's really opened up in this second half. This one, Diallo, never really looking like he's going to hit the target, but game to in and fro in at the moment.
For. There's Midland's pride here against the might of Manchester. Whatever happens, Mark Robbins has added to his managerial reputation. I do feel there's certain English coaches in that particular envelope who are only going to get into the Premier League if they take a team there. He's right. And Sims pivot here, he can. Oh! Hit back by O'Hare into the side netting. Well, Bruno Fernandes, almost the same part of the goal. And Atl.San locates it.
I mean, that's incredible. Really good play from Eriksen to stop the initial shot, but then the hit on the turn from Sims is a big appeal that the ball's gone over the line, but I don't think it has. It hits the crossbar, spins down, and it's probably about a foot short of going over the line, but great hit from Sims.
Here's Anthony. No one's thinking about penalties at the moment, unless Anthony can win one within extra time. Forson! Just got underneath it, got the power.
It did look handball on the control before. That had been an interesting one if this had hit the back of the net. Nice strike, really cleanly hit, but just always rising. Let's have a look at that one, how close it is to going over the line. Maybe a slight touch from Onana, and the ball spins away off the crossbar.
They're watching it from a long way away.
Yeah, it looked over to them.
Yeah. He's lived up to the billing, hasn't he, Atl.San?
Yes, he has.
Wins the header. O'Hare bustling around Bruno Fernandes, who hooks it accurately, actually, most luckily, towards Anthony, but United lose grip on the ball. They certainly lost a grip on the game. Sims. It's a word that's overused, but if you get the winning goal in this game, it's legendary status for sure. Hoyland. Maguire underneath it. Eriksen. shot. Diogo Dalot doesn't want to try the shot. In by Fernando Maguire's there. Sims is back defending, but it only drops for Eriksen. Still possibilities for Manchester United here. Still. Would have been a sensational decider. Anthony.
His left foot's capable, but very difficult on the swivel.
Might be fancying being the hero of the penalty shootout. Not in a great rush, is he?
He's doing an Onana.
Yes, without the booking. Pretty decent dead ball kick as well. As you're right, couldn't make contact with it. What's the board going to show? In other words, how long are we away from penalties? Sure, he couldn't pick it up. Eriksen. Maguire. So we're heading towards finding out officially how much time there is to the extra half an hour. Here's Maguire. Contest with Nevark, and he's given it away. He deserves better than that if that leads to a goal here. He plays superbly, the Dutchman. De Silva was nippy, and here's right. Well, we're nearly done. As far as the orthodox football is concerned. But there's still time for Coventry. With O'Hare. Right, the flag has stayed down here. This is going to be sensational. It is. It's taught with the touch. That means delirium for Coventry City. Virtually the last kick from 3-0 down to 4-3 up. Disbelief. Believe it. They're on the wrong end of it. Atl.San got to live with it. The great Dane of Coventry, the new Dane, arrived in January.
And look at that position of Aaron Wan-Bissaka on there. He's so deep. He's the one playing right on. The whole of the Manchester United back four feel that it's offside. But how he gets his head up there, picks out the pass, and lovely finish from Thorpe. Just gets enough of a steer on the ball with the instep of his right boot to guide that into the bottom corner. And I cannot believe the football match I'm witnessing here. What an incredible game this has been. What a privilege it's been to be here. And what a win this is going to be for Coventry City.
I think we are waiting on the check for offside.
I mean, it does look tight. But Wan-Bissaka's so deep, isn't he? This is lines being drawn as we speak.
This just adds to the drama.
I mean, it's hard to tell from that angle, isn't it?
I must say, my first instinct was that it could be offside when Wright got the ball. What a big call. Perhaps the biggest call that VAR has had to make. Oh, it's no goal. It's no goal. It's offside.
Look how tight that is.
And Victor Thorpe has one of the moments of FA Cup history ruled out.
Goodness me.
We are going to go to penalties. something else to happen here, because Manchester United have got a corner. It could be a deciding goal at the other end of the pitch. How cruel would that be?
I mean, can anything else happen in this game? It's been packed with action, isn't it?
Now they're holding their breath. They were punching the air only seconds earlier. United's corner. They've scored from one at this end of the stadium to get the lead. And it's smuggled away far enough, and we do go to penalties. Well, victory snatched from Coventry by the technology. A truly amazing game. One of the best FA Cup semi-finals. And Coventry City, after being 3 goals down, have taken it to penalties. And the drama hasn't finished here yet. But after the full helping of regulation time, extra time, 6 goals equally shared, we go to the shootout. Well, Matthew.
Wow, catch your breath, isn't it?
It is.
What a game. I mean, even with the VAR lines on it, it just looked ridiculously tight, that offside call, didn't it? It looked level to the naked eye, but the technology is the technology, and you can't
let romance, and it would have been as romantic as for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, no disrespect to Manchester United, all the neutrals would want Coventry to win, and the comeback put them on the brink of doing that. The goal put them on the brink of doing that, and the offside took it away.
Yeah.
For the moment.
For the moment.
Yeah.
For the moment. They've got a chance to breathe and meet, and now talk about and get your head on the fact that it's penalties, and a lot of those Manchester players must have just had that sinking feeling, Martin, when that goal goes in. So the amount of emotion these players have gone through in the last 5 minutes is pretty intense.
It's a reprieve, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is, but now you've got to get your head on and think, I'm still in the game. Right, what have I got to focus on? Taking a penalty. Big pressure situations. I mean, it's a lot of emotional changes for the players, and it's got to be calm in these moments.
And for Mark Robbins, who kept his emotions under check, as if he possibly suspected the offside.
Maybe. I think he's that type of manager anyway, isn't he?
He is.
Keeps himself really steady and calm all the time.
Well, volunteers, please.
I know. I mean, I was looking at it, and players that you'd like to have taking penalties, and players that are available on the pitch, and obviously Manchester United made a lot of substitutes. So can't wait to see who the selection are, the 5.
Just to remind you, from a year ago, only Casemiro and Dallo are available. And they took 7 penalties to see off Brighton. Scored them all. Marcus Rashford did start the game. Garnacho did start the game. They didn't finish the game. And the others, Sabitzer, who's doing very well in the Champions League.
Yes.
Weghorst, not with the club, they were loan players, and Victor Lindelof, who's on the casualty list, a long one for Manchester United.
Then you fancy Sims, wouldn't you? Sheaf possibly for Coventry. The skipper may step up and take one.
And can Haji Wright go through it again?
Yeah.
That technique of his.
Yeah, right, for sure.
Bruno will take one. He wasn't involved in the shootout a year ago.
I think
he's taken plenty penalties.
Coventry in pretty good shape though, aren't they, in terms of pens? Looking at them play today, and the players they got on the pitch and that are available for the shootout there, they're not in bad shape themselves. This is going to be interesting.
Well, we've got an international goalkeeper, Andre Onana. We've got a player who has his own chapter in the history books of Champions League football, international football with Brazil, Casemiro, to take the first penalty. And Bradley Collins, who's not played in the Premier League, despite his early hopes at Chelsea. really even to now the comparison that some of these Coventry players wouldn't have expected to be on the same pitch as the all-star Manchester United starting lineup, shall we say. It's not finishing lineup. All for one and one for all.
Either way for Atl.San, this day hasn't been a positive one. Even if United go through, I think there'll be a lot of questions asked and a lot of questions needing answers. And some collapse from 3-0 up. To be in this situation, this high pressure situation that his players are in now.
That are running through the players on your screens, I would say probably the calmest man is Casemiro.
He doesn't look too stressed about it, does he? No.
So, if you like Champions League against Championship, and he's missed it, a save. It was an attempt to Panenka it. Collins kept it out. First blood to Coventry City.
Well, he looked relaxed, and the penalty was relaxed. And I'm not too sure at all what he's thinking. Yes, it was a Panenka, but it was pretty low, and he was a little bit to the side anyway. Really brave, bold move from Collins to read it. Shocking start for Manchester United.
Penalty a bit better than the one that he was beaten by in the course of the game. Hadji right, that little shuffle to the left. Is he going to do the same thing again? There it is, and here it goes, and he blasts it in.
Onana going that side where he slotted it last time. But he powers it into the corner. Really good penalty, actually.
I must have caught him on a bad night at Southampton.
Yeah, I think so. From what I've seen, he's been cool as in front of the goal from the penalty spot, Martin.
Well, I did mention that Diogo Dalot took one in the semi-final shootout against Brighton. It was at the other end of the stadium, actually. But he scored, and he steps up again, and steps forward again. Drives it in a bit like Hadji Wright's technique, and they're on the board, Manchester United.
And a solid pen. No fuss, nothing fancy, nothing special. Step up to it, good run up and bury it in the corner, nice and low.
And it's the player who had the goal disallowed, Victor Torp. Just to put Coventry back in front. And he does pick that one out.
Oh, since coming on, he's been brilliant, Torp. He had an amazing hit in the second half on the volley, and this strike here is as clean as you like. Look at that for a penalty. Wow. In the corner, nice and high. Super strike.
It's a much more experienced Dane who comes forward for Manchester United. Again, not a player unused to this kind of pressure, shall we say. Collins plays the guessing game, tries to read the intention of Christian Eriksen, who does the job with a minimum of fuss, I must say.
Collins waiting again in the middle of the goal, almost thinking perhaps he's going to go straight or just stay big and not really commit. But he'd have had to commit to save that one. Lovely penalty in the corner.
comes Callum O'Hare, who plays with bravado and makes the walk from the halfway line with an air of confidence. That's showing that is one thing. Delivering with it is another matter altogether. O'Hare for Coventry, and Onana saves it. So we're one failure apiece now. Athletic, the United goalkeeper.
That's a great save. Looks like O'Hare does too much wrong. He just anticipates it. Onana is a decent height, but he really does get across early and quickly. Made the save look comfortable, but it was really sharp goalkeeping.
Well, just a reminder that Manchester United have plenty of big guns still on the pitch. Casemiro and Atl.San, of course, as well, international player, and Bruno Fernandes now, who so rarely fails from the penalty spot. It makes it look ridiculously easy.
Well, that is how to stroke one home. Looking casual, but very, very accurate. Good power as well. Always looked comfortable to score, didn't he? He knows Bruno Fernandes in those situations is ice cold.
The yellow cards in the shootout. He's already got one in the match, but we saw that with Emi Martinez in the week. So it's Ben Chief. Oh, he's missed it. Sorry for him. United have to score the last one, or maybe the last one. They have a kick to win it.
The pressure's just built on the last two penalties, and Sheaf doesn't get his upper body over the ball enough. Look of despair after the strike. He strikes it cleanly, but just leaning back a fraction, eases the ball over the crossbar.
Well, this is going to go down well in Denmark, isn't it? Because Torp had the goal disallowed. Eriksen's taken a penalty, and now Højlund's going to take one. Torp, of course, scored his as well, but it looks in vain now. Rasmus Højlund to put Manchester United into final now. I think Collins has got a yellow card as well. This can win it, and it does. And United will play City. It's a Manchester FA Cup final again for the second season in a row. But they've had to do it the hard way. Some would say they've been a bit fortunate to do it the way it's happened. The technology, which is part of the game, we have to accept that, stopped Erik-Ten Hag's team from being beaten with the very last touch of extra time. But the shootout now has gone Manchester United's way. After a wonderful game, United win 4-2 on penalties after the 3-3 draw. Someone had to lose. That's the way it is.
Unfortunately so. And I just feel for these Coventry players. Torp, who's been excellent having coming on, and the skipper, brilliant account of himself. Manchester United through by the skin of their teeth, and this fight back that I just thought was going to happen hasn't quite made it through. What heart, what passion they've showed Coventry, credit to them.
It'll take a while to sink in because it was almost there. They'd almost grasped the holy grail of a place in the FA Cup final for, remember, only the second time in their history it would have been. It's still stuck on 1987, when they actually won the semi-final by the same score that they won the final, 3-2 against Leeds United.